Scientific research has unearthed evidence of the use of hallucinogenic substances during Bronze Age ceremonies on the Balearic Island of Menorca. The revelation came to light as strands of human hair from a burial site on the Spanish island were analysed. They indicated that ancient human civilizations used plant-derived substances for possible shamanic purposes. The discovery is the first direct evidence of ancient narcotic use in Europe, which may have been used as part of ritualistic ceremonies, according to researchers. They detected scopolamine, ephedrine and atropine in 3 replicated hair samples. Atropine and scopolamine are naturally occurring compounds found in the nightshade plant family. They can induce delirium, hallucinations and altered sensory perception, all states associated with shamanic trances. Ephedrine is a stimulant derived from certain species of shrubs and pines that are common on the island and can increase excitement, alertness and physical activity. Writing in the journal Scientific Reports, the authors said, as early as the Paleolithic period, humans came across the non-food properties of certain plants. The results presented here indicate that several alkaloid-bearing plants were consumed by Bronze Age people from Menorca, although Solanaceae and Ephedra were not the only ones to have been consumed. Interestingly, the psychoactive substances detected in this study are not suitable for alleviating the pain involved in severe paleopathological conditions attested in the population buried in the cave of Escarich. These include periapical abscesses, severe caries and arthropathies. Considering the potential toxicity of the alkaloids found in the hair, their handling, use and applications represented highly specialized knowledge. This knowledge was typically possessed by shamans who were capable of controlling the side effects of the plant drugs through an ecstasy that made diagnosis or divination possible. Bronze Age Menorca was home to a warlike megalith building culture called the Talaiotic, who constructed distinctive T-shaped stone structures called taulas and chambered tombs called navetas. The taulas, which are set in circular stone enclosures, are theorized to have been part of an ancient healing cult. Intriguingly, they bear some similarity to the T-shaped megaliths at the 12,000-year-old complex of Göbekli Tepe in modern Turkey. There is also some similarity between the buildings constructed by the Nuragic civilization of Bronze Age Sardinia and the navetas of Menorca. Returning to the study, the researchers suggested the presence of the chemical substances may have been due to consumption of some nightshade plants such as mandrake, henbane or thornapple and joint pine. The concentric circles on the wooden containers they were found in may have stylized depictions of eyes and could have represented inner vision related to a mind-altered state of consciousness, the scientists suggest. Due to cultural changes around 2,800 years ago, the authors speculate the containers were sealed in the cave chamber in order to safeguard these ancient traditions. Previous evidence of prehistoric substance use in Europe has been based on indirect evidence such as the detection of opium alkaloids in Bronze Age containers, the finding of remains of certain plants in ritualistic contexts, and the appearance of the plants in artistic depictions. Eliza Guerra Dose from the University of Valladolid in Spain and colleagues looked at strands of hair from the Escarich cave, which was first occupied around 3,600 years ago and contained a chamber used as a funeral space until around 2,800 years ago. According to past studies, around 210 individuals were interred in the chamber. Strands of hair from only select individuals were dyed red, placed in the decorated wooden and horn containers, and removed to a separate sealed chamber further back in the cave. The hair strands date to approximately 3,000 years ago. The paper's discussion section read, "The most common theory of drug incorporation into the hair matrix is that it takes place at the root level. As chemicals circulate in the bloodstream, they are incorporated in the growing hair matrix at the base of the follicle. Therefore, hair analysis can provide a historical profile of an individual's exposure to the substances over a period of weeks to months, depending on the length of hair collected. Modern human scalp hair grows at an average rate of a centimetre a month, depending on hair type, phenotypic affiliation, sex and age. The length of the hair strands and the analysis of segments all along the hair shaft point to consumption over a period of nearly a year. Hence, drug intake was sustained over time, probably well before death. A more exact timing of consumption may be inferred from segmental hair analysis. However, such analysis could not be performed since the lack of bulbs in the hair strands prevented a clear distinction between distal and apical segments. The 3 alkaloids monitored were found in the cave of Escarich hair analysed. Ephedrine and scopolamine were at higher concentrations than atropine. To our knowledge, no quantitative data on the consumption of these alkaloids by past populations has been reported, hence the present data were compared with the few published reports on modern consumers. It added, tropane alkaloids are highly psychoactive, exerting multiple effects on the central nervous system. Rather than just being hallucinogens, atropine and scopolamine belong to the group of deliriant drugs, i.e. they induce delirium characterized by extreme mental confusion, strong and realistic hallucinations, disorientation, alteration of sensorial perception, and behavioural disorganisation. Out-of-body experiences and a feeling of alteration of the skin as if growing fur or feathers are usually reported. It is interesting to note that these sensations, known as formication, are congruent with those believed to have been felt by the Mesolithic Bad Nuremberg shaman, but her altered states are thought to have been caused by natural skeletal defects. The paper added, in Europe, tropane containing solanaceae have a long history of use as medicines, poisons and intoxicants, but they have achieved their most notorious reputation in association with European witchcraft during the Middle Ages and early modern period. Allegedly, witches smeared themselves with certain unguents to help them fly to demonic sabbaths, hence their name of flying ointments, or to be transformed into animals according to some testimonies. However, it seems clear that people had hallucinatory experiences using such ointments, the main ingredients of which likely being tropane containing solanaceae. The powerful mental and behavioural changes of these plants have made them indispensable ingredients in the botanical preparations used by shamans worldwide in rituals for divination, prophecy and ecstasy. On the other hand, ephedrine exerts a sympathomimetic action similar to that of adrenaline, i.e. excitement and enhancement of mental alertness and physical activity, reduction of fatigue, improvement of concentration and suppression of hunger. It continued, several Bronze Age burial sites and ceremonial places in the Balearic Islands reveal the deposition of flowers and the use of aromatic species to create a sensory experience. However, psychoactive plants were not found in any such sites and places, nor in any domestic context. The study also noted the occurrence at the cave of Eskarich of 3 trepan skulls belonging to adult males, and all of them with clear signs of survival even for over a year, although the relation between the sampled hair strands and the trepan skulls could not be safely established. Going further, the paper read, at the end of the 2nd millennium BCE there is evidence of the celebration of shamanic ceremonies inside the nearby cave of Es Musol. A collection of wooden objects was discovered in a small chamber, which included 2 carvings made of Olea Europea wood, one depicting a man's head, face and neck, while the other is a zoanthropomorphic figurine presenting 2 incipient stag antlers in the upper part of his head. The authors questioned if this was a prehistoric precedent of the later Celtic god Cernunnos. Could this transformation into an animal be related to the employment of psychotropic alkaloid-containing plants during ritual ceremonies? If so, then their officiators might have performed these ceremonies under the effects of hallucinogenic plants, and perhaps these distinct individuals received a special funerary treatment in acknowledgement of their shamanic character. That's it for this video. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe, and you can also support the channel on Subscribestar via the link in the description. Thanks for watching, bye for now.